The mean and standard deviation of 100 values was found to be 60 and 10 respectively. From this calculation, we see that the mean is 60, standard deviation is nothing but 10, the number of values is nothing but 100. While rechecking, two values 5 and 45 were wrongly taken as 30 and 40. So wrong values are 30, 20, but the correct values are 5, 45. So these are the correct values. Calculate the correct mean and correct standard deviation. So we solve this problem into three parts, in which we first deal with the old values. Then we do the change. That means we replace these wrong values by the right values. And then we move into the third part, in which we deal with all correct values. So therefore, we start with the problem as old. This is the old part, in which we deal with old mean, which is nothing but old sum of x upon old n. Now, old mean is 60. Old sum of x is something which we should find. Old n is nothing but 100. So therefore, we get 6 into 100 old sum of x, and this is nothing but 6000, which is old sum of x. We also deal with old SD, which is nothing but old SD is given as root of old sum of x square upon old n minus old x bar square. So old SD is nothing but 10. So this is 10. Old sum of x square we shall give. Old n is nothing but 100. And old x bar is nothing but old mean, which was found to be 60. So this was 60 square. So now we square both sides. Therefore, to get rid of this root, we square both sides. So we get 10 square. And now this root and square will get cancelled, and we are left with 10 square is 100. Old sum of x square upon 100 minus 3600. So we take 100 plus 3600 is equal to old sum of x square upon 100. This is equal to 3700 into old sum of x square upon 100. So 3700 will be old sum of x square. Now this is what, in this part we have dealt with all the old values. Now we do the change. Now when we do the change, we have to remove 30, 20, replaced by 5, 45. Now we use this old sum of x that we calculated. Old sum, and now we calculate the move into the new part. Now your new sum of x will be old sum of x. Old sum of x is that part in which we add all the x values. So we have to replace the wrong values which are there and add the correct values. So this sum was earlier calculated as 66,000. If you observe, we had done this as 6,000, and this is 30 minus 20 plus 5 plus 45. This gives the value as 6,000 itself. Now we do the same thing for this old sum of x square. Now we replace it by new sum of x square. New sum of x square will be old sum of x square minus, now in a sum of x square we calculate the x square parts. So therefore we remove the wrong, that is 30 square, 20 square. We place the correct 5 square plus 45 square. Old sum of x square we have calculated as 3,70,000. 3,70,000. 30 square is 900. This is 400. This is 25. 45 square is 2025. When we do 370,000 minus, we get the value as 37750. Therefore, now we have the new sum of x square values. Now to calculate new x bar will be new sum of x upon n, new n. New sum of x is nothing but 6000. New n is nothing but the same as original n, because original n was 100 and we are removing two values and replacing it by two values. So 6000 upon 100, this value will be 60. Now we have to calculate new st. New st will be equal to root of new sum of x square upon new n minus new x bar square. New sum of x square is nothing but 370, 750. New n is 100 and this is again 60 square. 370, 7.50, 3600. It boils down to 3707, 3707.5 minus 3600, which is 107.5, and root of this 107.5 is 10.36. This solves the problem. So in this problem, we have to basically deal with the old part, in which we have to find old sum of x, and we have to find the old sum of x, and also we have to find the old sum of x square. In the next part, we have to do the change. That means we have to remove 3050, replace it by 545, and now we have to calculate new sum of x, new sum of x square, and therefore calculate new x bar and new st. This solves the problem.